Welcome to part 2 of my feedback on Norwegian pronunciation video. I asked many of my students and newsletter subscribers to send me a short recording and I can give feedback on their pronunciation. Now, I got so many recordings that I couldn't do it in one video, so this is the second part. In case you don't know me, my name is Werner. I'm the co-founder of Scapago, an online language school, and I've also published the textbook, The Mystery of Niels. And yeah, I would say let's dive right in. The first person to send me a recording is Zachary. I hope I'm not mispronouncing that.
Hei, jeg heter Zachary, og jeg har lært norsk i rundt 4 måneder. Jeg er en student fra Kina, og jeg vil gå til Bergen i Norge som en utvekslingsstudent neste år. Jeg har mye lyst til å lære dette språket, men jeg har syntes det er vanskelig å uttale noen lyder godt, særlig når det er dobbelt-r i ett år. Så nå tror jeg at jeg må øve mer.
Yeah, okay. I would say in general that's really good. There's one sound that you made wrong, Zachary. It's this hina. That's a bit of a tricky sound, the K-J sound, but very easy to practice. There's a video on this channel to help you with that. You talked about sounds, which in Norwegian is lider, not lider. So that's a common mistake. E and E, they're a bit different. The difference is this position of the lips, nothing else. So the E, it's lider with this. You look a bit like a pig. There is also a video on that on this channel. And one more mistake you made, you said E at or, but you wanted to say yet or. So make sure that these vowels o and u, when you take the wrong one, actually the meaning of the word can change. So when you say or, it means year, and when you say ur, it means word. So you wanted to say word. I think that were the most important things. Now, you mentioned one problem, the double R. Unfortunately, there was no double R in the, as far as I remember, in the recording that you sent. But what I can say in general is your R is fine. I like that, and it's really good. Maybe you can post in the comments what you did to learn it, because many people from China have huge issues with the R. So it's really good. And the good news is also with the double R. I would say, I think what you're insinuating is that you would like to make this trill. So when people say something like skarre or skarre, depending on which R people have in Norwegian. But that's not really necessary. The general thing about double consonants in Norwegian, whether it's a double L or a double T or a double M or a double R, is that it makes the vowel before short. So this is what you have to focus on. So for example, if I say tar, you can see that the A is very long. But when I say skarre, the R is short, the A is short. What I do about the R is not so important. The R can basically be the same as in tar. It can be short and nothing special, just the same R. But the important thing is that the vowel before it is short. Okay, good work. I would say let's continue with Adrienne.
Mange barn sliter med klimaangst. Klimaangst er et stort problem blant unge. Det er mange barn som sliter med dette. For at det skal bli bedre, må vi snakke mer om klimaangst og forklare ting på en litt mindre brutal måte. Hva er klimaangst?
So I'm going to stop it here shortly. You're making one mistake that is actually a good mistake, Adrian, because you said unge, but actually it's unge. So interestingly, most people have issues with the U sound in Norwegian, but the thing is that we only say U in about 95% of the words that we actually write as U. Sometimes we write U, but we say U, and the word Ung is one of those examples where we do that. So we don't say unge, we say unge. The other thing is that I would like to invite you to work a bit on your A sound. I just posted a video on that on this channel, I think last week. It has to be with this forced smile. So we have to say bedre, mer, okay, like this. If you don't do that, it sounds a bit also, yeah, off. Also, in general, monitor your vowels. Make sure that when long vowels are there, they're really long. Like, for example, it should be måte, and a long O, or a short vowel, usually when it's a double consonant that comes after.
Klimaangst at barn blir redde for at verden skal gå under på grunn av klimaendringer.
Yeah, here you say gå under. That's unfortunately also not right. So here we say u. So you just have to switch it. So it's ung, but it's under.
På skolen og på TV blir klima fremstilt på en veldig brutal måte.
Same here. Firstly, it's not på skolen, it's på skolen. It's just a normal s. But also brutal. Here it's an u, actually.
Det veldig dumt. Derfor synes vi at dere kan skrive om dette i avisen deres. Det barn helt ned i 12-årsalderen som har klimaangst. Dette må vi alle gjøre noe med. Vi kan ikke sitte her og se på at halve jorden har angst på grunn av klima. Vi må bare skjerpe oss.
So the same here. Short vowels, we say ikke. It's not something like ikke. Vi må ikke. No, that's wrong. It's ikke. We have a double K whenever we have a double consonant. It's a rule that the vowel before the E, the A, the E, O, U is short. Yeah, also the E. I mentioned this before. Make sure to work on that because all the other vowels are fine, but the E is something that does not sound Norwegian to me. The long E, like in dere, that is something that should be worked on. It's easy. It's not something that will take you a long time, but it's something that you should look into and that you should practice a little bit. That applies basically to all of you when you work with something with pronunciation. Make sure to practice it for a little while before it really sticks, and then make sure to somehow plant this inner voice into your head, which will make you correct yourself automatically. Because especially if you have learned Norwegian over a longer time and you have carried a pronunciation mistake with you, it's very easy to just keep on doing it, although you know or you suddenly how you should pronounce things correctly. So then you have to make sure that you tap yourself on the fingers for a while until you get it really right. And by the way, if you're really interested in learning Norwegian systematically from scratch or from a higher level to take it to the next level, check out our online video courses where I have detailed pronunciation, explanations, and exercises. And as you might know, if you've been following me for a while, these courses are based on a coherent story, so that makes it a bit more fun for you to learn than the usual conventional courses. They go really from 0 to B2 level, so make sure to check them out. Okay, we have the next one here, and this is Jan.
Jeg heter Jan og studerer informatikk. Jeg ønsker etter hvert å få jobb som programvareutvikler. Mitt favorittprogrammeringsspråk C++. Byen der høgskolen ligger 1,5 times kjøretur fra hjembyen min.
Okay, so one thing I heard from the beginning was this thing with studerer. I corrected it before. It's an u, studerer. When you have a long word like programvareutvikler, I think was the word, make sure also that all the vowels length is appropriate. So for example, utvikler has to be long, the u. Yeah, I'm repeating myself, you know it, but that's just the usual thing that we do. We tend to make the same mistakes.
Så jeg drar hjem i helgene. Min motivasjon for å lære norsk at jeg ønsker å besøke Tromsø. Jeg så bildene av byen for noen år siden og elsket den med en gang. Fordi jeg synes vinteren der ser fantastisk ut. också på lärlyssnarna.
Yeah, Tromsø is very nice. I studied there. I love it. It's a fascinating city. Make sure also that I will talk about that when we finish with the recording.
Jeg vil gjerne besøke fjellene og Nord-Skandinavia generelt, Norge, Finland, Sverige. Uttalen min er ikke bra fordi jeg stort sett studerer norsk ved å lese. Akkurat nå hører jeg på Harry Potter-lydbøkene på norsk og leser Knausgårds roman Morgenstjernen. Det går sakte.
Okay, Jan. Okay, so that's really interesting. So, a few more things. Lese with a non-voiced S, not lese. It's lese. I don't know what your mother tongue is, but maybe you have the issue that in your mother tongue you use a z always and not a s. So in Norwegian we only have the s without voice. So if you put the finger here, no vibration. Also, one tiny detail, Sverige. We don't say Sverige, we say Sverige. But one general thing, if you are reading Knausgård in the original language, which is really amazing, then I think it should definitely be time to work on your pronunciation now, because that means that your Norwegian is at a super, super high level, and it's maybe a little bit unbalanced. You're focusing too much on the written, too much studying, too much grammar, maybe too much vocabulary, and too little pronunciation. So work on the vowels, and also what I would like to invite you, I can hear that your intonation does not sound Norwegian. What I mean by that is, in a sentence, we have a certain melody that's just natural, and it's a little bit different for all languages, and it's even different for, there are a lot of regional variations for the same language, also in Norwegian. And I would like to invite you to focus on that a little bit more. So if you work with our course, for example, I suggest that you really listen to the recordings and you try to imitate them, because that's basically the best way, I would say, to learn correct pronunciation. So in general, my recommendation is watch all the videos here on this channel about pronunciation, but also make sure to listen to real recordings. Can be textbook recordings, can be recordings from our course. So if you don't want to purchase this course now, feel free to take anything else from Norwegian, but make sure you get into the habit of imitating the intonation so that your Norwegian sounds natural. Okay, great. We have Tobias out next. Tobias sent this in.
Hei, dette er Tobias fra Østerrike.
Østerrike.
Tusen takk for at du hører på denne audio og gir meg tilbakemelding med hensyn til uttalen min. Jeg begynte å lære norsk for omtrent 3 måneder siden.
That's good.
Jeg går ikke på kurs. Jeg startet å lære med Babel, som er en app for mobiltelefonen. Og etterpå jeg arbeidet gjennom en bok som heter Norwegian system. Jeg også leste den boka Short Stories Norwegian og hørte på podcasten av Marius Stangeland, som jeg synes var veldig interessant. Nå har jeg også bestilt den andre delen av Mysteriet om Nils, men den har ikke ankommet ennå. Jeg tror at jeg kan forstå ganske mye på norsk, men jeg har aldri snakket og skrevet meg selv.
Okay.
På grunn av dette er det kjempevanskelig for meg å formulere setninger. Dette for eksempel er allerede den 10. gangen at jeg spiller inn i denne audio, og jeg håper at det er den siste gangen.
Ja, det er den siste gangen.
Vel, jeg skal avslutte her. Takk skal du ha en gang til, og god påske. Ha det bra!
Okay, thank you, Tobias. That's of course. So I can hear that since it's the 10th recording, it gets very tiring and very annoying. Also, it's a really good job. Like 3 months learning Norwegian is quite amazing. Even though German is your first language, it makes it a bit easier, but still. I would also say the intonation, but I understand, as I said, you recorded this 10 times, that the intonation is not so natural. There is really just, there is a few tiny things that I think at your level do not need that much attention. The one thing is that my impression is your R's comes off a bit too strong for me. So you have a tendency of saying the R a bit too often with the tongue. So you would say something like for meg. In Norwegian, we can say the R with the tip of the tongue. That's actually, like I would say, 2/3 of the country do that. But in contrast to, for example, Spanish or I think also Russian, we don't have this, we don't let the tongue flip several times. So in Spanish, I think they say something like Barcelona. We would not do that in Norwegian. In Norwegian, we would just say bar. So it goes up once and that's it. So I think that is something I would focus a little on. I also noticed that you said the word of with a F almost at the end. That's something we don't do. We can't just say or if it's then it's really, we barely hear the V. Let me listen to it one more time.
Hei, dette Tobias fra Østerrike. Tusen takk for at du hører på denne audio og gir meg tilbakemelding med hensyn til uttalen min.
Tusen takk for at du hører på denne audioen. So au is a weird sound. It's actually an A and then goes to, or an A and then goes to an U. There is a video in this channel, you might watch it.
Jeg begynte å lære norsk for omtrent 3 måneder siden. Jeg går ikke på kurs. Jeg startet å lære med Babber, som en app for mobiltelefonen. Og etterpå jeg arbeidet gjennom en bok som heter Norwegian system. Jeg også leste den boka Short Stories Norwegian, og hørte på podcasten av Marius Stangeland, som jeg synes var veldig interessant.
So may I synes, be a little bit careful with the E also. That sounds a bit to me like an U, okay? Not completely, it's somewhere in the middle, but make sure that the difference between E and U is really clear.
Nå har jeg også bestilt den andre delen av Mysteriet om Nils, men den har ikke ankommet ennå. Jeg tror at jeg kan forstå ganske mye på norsk, men jeg har aldri snakket og skrevet meg selv. På grunn av dette det kjempevanskelig for meg å formulere setninger. Dette for eksempel allerede den 10. gangen at jeg spiller inn i denne audio, og jeg håper at det den siste gangen. Vel, jeg skal avslutte her. Takk skal du ha en gang til, og god påske. Ha det bra!
Yeah, thank you very much. But I think I gave you a few ideas on what to work on. In general, I have to say amazing progress for learning Norwegian, just 3 months, if I remember correctly. That's really amazing. Okay, we still have 2 more people to go. Max is next.
Hei, Werner. Jeg Max, og jeg kommer fra Tyskland.
Okay,
Jeg vet ikke hva jeg skal si, så jeg skal presentere noen fakta om Norge. Norge et land i Nord-Europa. Norge grenser mot Sverige i øst og mot Russland og Finland i nordøst. Norges hovedstad Oslo. Norge har ca. 5 millioner innbyggere og tynt befolket. Norges natur veldig vakker. Det fjorder, fjell, skog, innsjø og kyststrøk. Det også mange vakre byer. Det der. Ha det.
Okay, Max, I said at the beginning, I can hear that you're from Germany, because you make one mistake that is very, very, very typically German. Also British people make it. And that is that we drop the R at the end of the word. So you said something like komma, grensa. Okay, we can't do that. In German, it's perfect. When people learn German, that's the number one thing where you can hear, oh, okay, that must be a foreigner. But in Norwegian, that's not what we want. We want to hear every R. So when you say kommer, I want to hear that just once, like shortly, not like kommer, but kommer, okay? Grenser. You chose to go for the skarre R, like the R that is spoken in the southwest, Bergen, Kristiansand, Stavanger. That's fine, you can do that. Make sure to use it consistently. So also here, we want to hear it like a little bit, komme, grenser, okay? Just shortly, not like grenser or something, but we want to hear that there is not just the but then there is still a consonant, okay? Also make sure, I think there was not an example in this recording, but make sure that when you say it like this, you should also stick to not merging the combinations with the RS. So you should say something like Lars, kurs, norsk, not norsk or kush, because that would be more natural when you use the tip of the tongue. One more thing I wanted to say, befolket. Here we have to say the T because it's not an article, it's a participle grammatically. Don't need to go into the details here, but let me listen to the recording once more.
Hei Werner, jeg Max, og jeg kommer fra Tyskland. Jeg vet ikke hva jeg skal si, så jeg skal presentere noen fakta om Norge. Norge et land i Nord-Europa. Norge grenser mot Sverige i øst og mot Russland og Finland i nordøst. Norges hovedstad Oslo. Norge har ca. 5 millioner innbyggere og tynt befolket. Norges natur veldig vakker. Det fjorder, fjell, skog, innsjø og kyststrøk. Det også mange vakre byer. Det. Ha det.
Yeah, I would say that is really, of course, you might also look a little bit at the intonation. I don't know how long you have learned Norwegian, but I guess you were reading this text, so it's natural that the intonation does not follow so much. But I would say the thing that really bothers me most in this recording is the r at the end of the word. It really has to be there. This is how everybody's going to review once you open your mouth that you're from Germany. And make sure, as I said, there's a video also on this channel about this phenomenon, that you say things like norsk and kurs and Lars and barne and kort if you go for the R in your throat, which is very nice. You're going to sound like somebody who comes from the southwest. Perfect. We have one last recording, and that's Will.
Hei, jeg har bestemt at det lettere for meg for å lese en utdrag fra romanen Pakis, som i Mysterium om Nils. Ok. Det var søndag. Klokken var rundt 3 til 4 på dagen. Sajid satt på rommet sitt og leste i et fotballblad, i det faren ropte på ham fra stue. Ja, hva det? Spurte han, stående i døren. Sett deg, jeg vil snakke med deg. Måten faren snakket på var dødsens alvorlig. Han hadde hørt faren snakke slik en del ganger før. Da pleide alltid å skje noe rart med Sajid. Han pleide å få en redsel i seg. Bare måten faren snakker på gjør det vondt. Det føltes som om hjertet hans skulle falle ut når som helst, tvers gjennom brystkassen.
Okay, well, that's a nice recording also. I would say the intonation is nice. It's really, it's natural. It's Eastern Norwegian. A few things about the vowels. You said romme. It's actually romme. So you might want to work on the o a bit. You also say ropte instead of ropte. So it's also an o. What else was there? Yeah. It's skulle, not skulle. And I would also like you to focus a little bit on the phenomenon when we have a at the end of the word. It does not change the quality of the sound. It will still be an a. It will be short. Like for example in stua, it's an a. like very open, like in dark in English. It's short, it's very short, but it's still an A. It's not something like stua or something like that. There was another example and I can't remember it now.
Hei, jeg har bestemt at det er lettere for meg for å lese en utdrag fra romanen Pakis, som er i Mysterium om Nils. Ok, det var søndag. Klokken var rundt 3 til 4 på dagen.
Ja, klokka var rundt. Ja, you said something like klokka. But I think in the original text it will, or klokken, but in the original text I think it says klokka. And that's a short, dark A. Yeah, great. I hope for all of you that this has been helpful. If you have any questions or if you have any suggestions on how I can help you with your pronunciation, please share it in the comments. Also, if you liked what you saw, make sure to subscribe, to activate the bell, and share this channel also with your Norwegian learning friends. I'll be happy to meet you in the next video.